Rowan here, and today, as promised, we're working on the backhand. You should be able to learn the essentials and the fundamentals of the throw, as well as learning a few cool tricks you can use with the backhand. Let's get started. The grip for the backhand's basic. You're just gonna grab the Frisbee like you're shaking hands. You don't want it wobbling around. You want a firm grip to create that snap and spin. New players have a tendency to put their finger on the rim here to help with the accuracy. That's fine to start, but as you progress, you want to get this finger off the rim and into the lid here so you get more spin. Okay, you can put a finger or two on the middle of the disc to help stability, especially if you have smaller hands. But again, the more you throw, the better you get, the more you want to bring everything to this rim. And now that we have the grip down, we're going to talk about the wrist roll in the backhand. A lot of players think that with this whole swing motion, that they can get away with not using a ton of wrist. But we really want to emphasize this snap here. And by the end, you should be able to throw a backhand with just the wrist. Just like the forehand, the wrist is one of the most critical parts to the backhand. The motion here is keeping our palm back and going this way. Whereas the forehand is more palm up, the backhand you actually turn and you're leading your throw with the back of your hand. To get more spin, you can bring your wrist back, curl this way, and snap forward. Now that we have the wrist snap down, we can practice it by just standing here and throwing it straight up. You know you're getting a lot of snap and spin when you catch the disc and it pulls at your hand. You can do this drill by yourself whenever you want, and this is going to add power to your backhand. We're going to talk about how we can use the whole body to give momentum and power to the throw. The first thing we're going to do is talk about our step out. Here, what we want to do is bring our throwing hand's foot to the opposite side of the body, which is going to get us away from the mark and allow us a little rotational twist. We don't want this foot in line with the other foot or we're off balance. And by bringing it slightly up and across, we now have an athletic base with some power and still have the ability to rotate. So again, up and across here. Now that we're in this motion, let's start with our upper body and bring the disc back. We don't want to curl the disc here and get this throw. We're going to lose a ton of power. We also don't want to over arc this throw. We want to bring the Frisbee from the back through the zone on a line to our target. That's going to help with the accuracy. Now that we have the footwork and the body placement, let's talk about getting some power and momentum. When we're throwing a short or medium range pass, we don't have to bring this disc all the way back. When we do bring the disc all the way back, we end up losing sight downfield for a fraction of a second. That's okay for hucks when we need to use the whole body, but for a smaller pass, we want to keep our eyes up so we don't throw into any poaches. So you can get that twist here, keeping your eyes downfield, and all you really need to do is bring this elbow forward and this wrist snap forward, and you have yourself a 20 to 30 yard throw without too much body motion. To add some extra power to your throw for a mid-range throw or a huck, now you're gonna really have to work on the backswing. Let's bring this disc again back on a straight line, not a big loopy arc. When we wanna throw almost a full power huck, we're gonna start by driving this elbow forward, which is gonna rotate our core. We can even tighten this core too to help get this snap a little faster. With the elbow and core coming forward, we're now gonna lead our wrist, which is curled back to get the extra range of motion on the snap, through the zone and follow through. One last part to the backhand is the angle we wanna release it at. Just like we talked about in the common mistakes new throwers make, we don't want to put an air bounce on the backhand or it can get lost in the wind. We want to keep it flat with a lot of spin. In general, we want to keep our backhand release pretty low. I would say around your waist. There's obviously wind factors or other things that can play a role in where you release it, but the sweet spot is probably, kind of mid-thigh to waist. Next up, we got the hammer and scuba. Subscribe and stay tuned. Rowan.